Hello everybody, happy 4th of July. Rick here, and we're down at the barn, and what I'm doing today, it's 12:30, just after midnight, and prepping for a Boston butt for barbecue for tomorrow. I'm going to do some prepping now, get the butt ready to go, and give you a shot at what we're doing here. So starting off here, I'm showing you the different woods out there. I don't have any pecan wood, but they've got it, mesquite, hickory, cherry. What we're going to be using is apple. Now I've watched a couple dozen videos on smoking a Boston butt, and let me tell you, you know as well as I do, it's the more you watch, the more opinions you'll get, or different methods and all that. Some people swear by hickory and mesquite, others say don't do it. I do like pecan, but I couldn't find any. But today we're going to go with apple. I kind of like apple on my spare ribs, and we're going to do some of those later on too. But tonight, or early this morning, we're going to get the butt ready, let it set after I prep it, and then set it on the smoker about 3 a.m. So I got some apple wood here. I've got apple juice that I'm going to put in the pan, and I've got in a spritz bottle here so that I can spritz the meat at about the 3 or 4 hour mark. None other than Sweet Baby's Ray's honey barbecue sauce for the St. Louis style ribs. I've got 2 different kind of rubs here. I've got Kansas City barbecue. I'm going to use that on the Boston butt, and then the brown sugar rub on the ribs. I've got mustard. I'm going to use the mustard as a binder. It doesn't really affect the taste of the meat or anything. It's more just to hold the rub on. I got my gloves for handling the meat, temperature wise, some pans ready to put them in. I've got my butt here. It's about a 9-pound butt. So I'm looking at about 9 hours of cooking if everything goes right. I'm going to set the smoker at 225 degrees. I'm going to let it cook for about or smoke for about 3 hours before I do the first check. I've got my temperature probe here, one for inside temperature and one that I'll put in the meat, so that I can check, and once it hits about the 160, 165, 170, then that's when I'll know I want to pull it out and go on and wrap it and get ready to finish it off to about a 200, 203 internal temperature. Okay, so right now what I want to do is go on and season my butt. But before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here. I don't need much. I mean, I done looked at the fat cap, and it's not bad at all, but there's little pieces that hang off the butt. You want to get all those little pieces, just trim it up. Those are just going to burn on you if you don't. Just kind of trim it up a little bit. This one here don't look bad at all. Get a little bit of this fat off on the top side. There's not many ways you can mess up a Boston butt. I'm going to trim a little bit of the fat cap off there that's hanging over the edge. Okay, I think that's about good. Everything else looks good here. So I got that trimmed off. Set it off to the side here. And now I'm going to put my mustard on as a binder. Throw me on a glove here so I don't get it all over myself more than anything, but my hands are clean, but just the same. I'm gonna slap us a glove on here. Some of you might think, oh my gosh, you're putting that mustard on that meat. It's going to be, actually, you won't even be able to tell it. It's more of a binder than it is anything else. You want to do both sides, even your fat cap, because we're going to put rub on the fat cap as well. Now, some people score it. I might just go on and do that myself, but should have done it earlier. But there's not that much meat on this, or fat on this one here, but I'll score it a little bit here. There we go. Okay, I said I was going to use my Kansas City rub, and I can tell you right now already, not prepare this rub for shaking on immediately, because I know it's a new jar, so I need to take the seal off on the inside. So what y'all's plans for 4th of July? I tell you, with fireworks, they've been going off here now for the last several days. It's a different kind of weekend than we've had in the past, with the 4th being on a Tuesday. A lot of people started Friday and Saturday, and here it is Sunday night. I'm up high a little bit. I want to get a good spread on here, a generous coating. I don't want to get too close and just pile it all up, but about 4 to 6 inches above my butt. You want to get all sides. You know, you can make your own rubs, and I mean, you can actually just these Boston butts. I mean, the pork itself is delicious meat, cooks up good. A lot of fat in a pork shoulder, Boston butt, and it in itself has a good flavor to it. I think that does it right there. You can simply do it with just salt and pepper. 50% salt, 50% pepper, and you'd have you a fine piece of meat there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this in a pan, and then I'm going to let it set. Ideally, if I were starting this during the day a little bit later, I'm cooking early this morning simply because my son's got to head to work at 4 o'clock, so I want this thing done by, I want to start eating by 3. No later than 3. So that's why we're going to go on and get it now. But ideally, if you just set that in there until for about 30 minutes and let that rub go on and start blending into the meat. But certainly you can do it like I'm doing. A lot of people will do it. Let it set in the refrigerator overnight, and then the next morning put it on the smoker. So we're going to stick this in the refrigerator right now. Well, good morning. It's 2:30 in the morning here, and I'm going to set my temperature at 225. We may go higher than that. I may go up to 275 to get the smoke going and then back it down. Okay. And then we're going to set the time. We're going to set it up at 6 hours. Okay, the fire blower's on. Charcoal container's full. Well, good morning, everybody. It's 3 a.m. As you can see, we got a good smoke coming out of here. Our temperature is 271, so we're going to turn that down. Let's see, hit temperature. Okay, so it's running a little hot right now. You can see I got a level on here. I want to make sure I had my smoker to level. I'm going to go inside and get my meat here. I went to bed first time about 3:30 or 1:30 rather, and they were still shooting fireworks off in the distance. Oh yeah, you can see how that seasoning is done permeated into that meat there. Okay, got that. Let me grab my probes. Grab my meat. Back out to the smoker. I'm staying in the camper, by the way. It's a lot more convenient. I got the smoker set up by the camper, not plugged into it because I've got cord running into the barn. But I figured this would work best for me than keep getting up in the middle of the night and the dogs barking their crazy heads off. Okay. Set this butt in here with the fat cap down. Got it on the middle rack. Door shut. Our temp is done down to 234. Wash my hand again, and then I'm gonna put these probes in there. Put one probe in my meat, and then one in the smoker itself. There we go, we got it for 225. And it's 70 right now. Okay, so we're good there. And we got everything set up now, so I'll check about an hour later here to check on the smoke and see how everything's going. Our smokers, the smoker itself showing 220 degrees right now. The probes were just put in there, so they'll be getting set here in a second, and we'll be able to check to make sure both are running the same, because sometimes the smoker might be off from what the probes will say, and then we can make our adjustment as necessary. So there you got it. 3 o'clock. We'll be checking back in about another hour. And I've been joined down here by my bride.
Hello.
Who come down here to check on me, see if I'm doing okay. And everything seems to be good. We're cooking meat. We'll see y'all in about an hour. Well, it's 4:30 in the morning now. Our internal temp is running about 198 to 199. Meat's at 82 degrees. I'm gonna kick the temp up on this about a few degrees to let's see if that'll get us up to 225. The Masterbuilt says it's at 220. Our probe is saying 190, 199, so we'll just check that. Smoke's been replenished. Good to go there, so we'll check it in another hour. Well, good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Our internal temp is 122 on the meat, and I opened the door a while ago. but it was at 225 exactly on the inside. Open it again here and spritz our meat. Meat's looking good. Yeah, that temperature drops down when you open the door, but other than that, everything's looking good. See if I can get it up, that meat up to about a 160, 150, 160. And then we'll give it a wrap. Okay. Getting to be pretty daylight out here now. I got some yard work to do here to get ready for this evening, but other than that, our meat's looking good. We'll check back in later. Okay, it's 7:30 now, and our meat is sitting at 145. Oh yeah, it's got a good bark on it. I think we're at the point now where we're going to go on and pull and wrap it. Oh yeah. I'm going to be careful with these probes. They are hot. Okay. I'm going to set the phone down a second while I pull this out. I should have set me a table up there beside the smoker. Not sure why I didn't. Okay. Got my meat in here. I got aluminum foil ready for wrapping. I'm going to wrap this thing good and tight with about 3 sheets of foil. I'll tell you, the whole thing to this pork Boston butt here isn't just it's not just everything set on a certain time, but it's your temperature that we're shooting for, and we're looking for from this point on about 205 degrees, and a wrapping that's going to keep a lot of that moisture and heat inside our meat here. And the key to any good barbecuing is slow and low. kept our heat at about 225. This is heavy duty aluminum, but it's not very wide. Just want to get it wrapped good. Okay, there we have our butt wrapped. It's going to take it back outside. Take it back outside and put it on the smoker. It don't need any smoke from here on out. We're just working the temps. Got our probes in. Make sure we're not kinked up here. Okay. Temp's going back up on the internal, 144. The meat's setting it at 142, and it's gonna start climbing pretty much better. Maybe about 3 hours now. I increased the time up here. Our smoker says 228, and I increased the time up about 5 hours. I keep time on my phone more, so I don't want it to shut off on me. So okay, well, we'll set it, let it finish up from this point here. We'll be prepping St. Louis style ribs here before too long. We're going to use the 3-2-1 method on them. Okay, we got our ribs in the smoker. Gonna let them sit in there for 3 hours. Then we'll come back, wrap them for 2 more hours, and then after that we'll unwrap them, sauce them down, and let them set for another hour. The Boston butts moved up to 160 degrees since we wrapped it. We're shooting for 205, 203 to 205. Smoker's still, the alarm set for 225. It's 171 right now because we just opened it, but it'll kick back up. I've got the smoker digital dial on the Masterbuilt itself set about 245 to keep that probe at about 225. So So, man, I gotta apologize for a couple of shots earlier here. Been sleeping in the camper going back and forth and didn't realize I didn't put my shirt on, so y'all got some pork belly shots there. Certainly apologize for that. After I review it, I may even cut them out. I don't even know if they're going to be in there or not, but not something I'm sure you wanted to see. Is my old gut hanging out. So, but anyway, we got this the ribs on, and things are looking good. We'll talk to you later. Okay, just pulled the ribs off. Had a good nice bark on them. Been in there for 3 hours. Getting ready to wrap them. Our Boston butt is at 196 right now. Of course, it just opened the door, so that's why the internal temps dropped down to 167. It'll kick back up. So let's go wrap these bad boys. Okay, getting ready to wrap the ribs. But sure are looking good. Got a good smoked flavor. Got it wrapped and headed back out to the smoker. Okay, the timer's going off saying the meat's at internal temps 205, so we're gonna pull the butt off. The ribs have got to stay on a little bit longer. But the butt is ready to be pulled off. Our internal temp now, I'd say it is dropped below 205, but that's because I pulled it out. I think we'll just pull the rack and all out here to make it easier to carry. We'll take her inside here. Come on. run out to my camper and get the cooler to set it in rest. Okay, we got the butt off the grill. We're going to set it in the cooler now and let it rest for an hour. And then it should be ready to pull. Okay, our butt's been resting for an hour. A lot of people wonder if it's still going to be hot or not, but when you see the foil come off of here and the steam come out, you'll see that it's still pretty good. Boy, look at that bark. Things looking good. Say the juice is in that pan there.
That's one of our guys. I'm assuming it's Jeff. So I should get an update soon on him. I'll let you know.
Okay, and now, as most of you guys have ever seen butts cooked before, this is your real test of the temperature, is when you pull that bone out, how clean it comes off. And you can see that there's no meat on that thing at all. It's just a nice clean bone. So that tells you internally your meat is good done. That's your best thermometer right there. Now I'm gonna drain this juice in this pan here, try to. Because I want to save a little bit of that. There wasn't much fat on this one on the top. This is for you, JR. I know last time you busted me out for using bear claws to debone. Boy, look how that meat there is so tender. Here's your best part down here, the money muscle they call it. Man, it smells good. I wish y'all could smell it. I could eat a sandwich just like this without any sauce on it. I'm going to leave some of these bigger hunks over there because I'll end up freezing some of this, and if I freeze the bigger chunks, it'll work out better. So there we go. Pulled pork with the Masterbuilt electric grill down at the barn with Rick. We're about ready to eat here. Off the smoker, and they are ready to rock. These are St. Louis style ribs, which are bigger than your baby backs. A lot of meat on them. And you see how these things have fallen off the bone. Man. It'd be nice if we had Smella YouTube. This one here's got that big hard gristle in there. There we go. There you go. Some nice ribs.
Finger looking good.
Finger looking good. Okay, before we eat here, let me say a little prayer. Father, we thank you for our independence. We thank you for this food that was prepared in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you for our families, and in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Okay, happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 4th.
We got fireworks at the end of the video here. If you like what you see and you got any comments on the barbecue and the ribs, any pointers for me, slap a comment. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe, hit that like button and the bell for our next video. Happy 4th of July.
Bye.
No, don't open. You know what she did?
What?
She turned my camera on. I've been recording all that time with nothing.
No. Oh my God. Don't touch it, Raylan. All right.
She turned it on. I've been doing all this.
Here, Raylan, look.
Yeah. So we recorded that first part of the movie with with it turned off. Papa still don't know how to work his phone.
Papa and Raylan watching the fireworks. Hi, Raylan. Say hi. Drop the water in my hair. Lasting a while.
Papa's phone.
Oh, this one over here is still mouthing off. I know. Yay!
That one at the bottom finally stopped.
Ricky, run! Whoa. I don't think she's scared of it. She's on the phone. All gone. Yay!
Yay! Clap.
Say yay, Dad. Woo. How pretty. Purple. Good job. Purple. Green. Green. White. Purple. White. Wow. Yay! That one was low. Oh, goodness. There, you feel better now?
Big one.
Okay. I think I'm right. I think it's over. Oh. Better start again. I think there's just one more. Is that the last one?
There's some more